We are here to honor Raymond Moriyama, one architect of this remarkable building and one of the most renowned Canadian architects of the 20th century. As you all know, Mr. Moriyama has designed iconic buildings across Canada and around the world, and we at the museum are very proud to include our beloved building amongst his accomplishments. Although this building opened more than 15 years ago, it continues to demonstrate Mr. Moriyama's commitment to environmental sustainability and the inclusion of all peoples, themes that have never been more relevant even today. In many ways, this building is a meditation on the upheaval of war. However, it is also profoundly reflective of the notion of regeneration and the hope and renewal that can emerge from cataclysmic events. As Mr. Moriyama once said, while nature may be ravaged by human acts of war, it inevitably survives, regenerates, and renews itself. Regeneration Hall is one of the most haunting areas in the museum. From its eerie Aeolian soundscape, to the Vimy Memorial sculptures, to the angles of its walls, and the view of the Peace Tower, just here on my left, everything in this gallery speaks to armed conflicts and its aftermath. Raymond's own wartime experiences inform every inch of the building he designed. The forced relocation of his family to an internment camp in the BC interior and the treehouse he built as a form of escape are reflected in the very DNA of this museum. And nowhere is that more apparent in this stunning room. Today, we are very proud to rename this space Moriyama Regeneration Hall, or in French, la salle de régénération Moriyama, in honor of Raymond's vision and his concept of what a museum of military history is ultimately about. Reconciling the trauma of conflict with hope for the future, Moriyama Regeneration Hall in many ways reflects the soul of this museum. It is a space dedicated to the education, the preservation, and the remembrance of Canada's military history, and will no doubt continue to affect visitors in profound ways for decades to come.
We feel extremely proud to be sharing this momentous occasion with family and with friends. And today is really a day to celebrate my father. My father taught us all that our work should be meaningful, as it is demanding, and it's truly a rare opportunity to be given an opportunity in one's architectural career to look at a challenge of a national institution and really search for a soul. Our goal was always to pay tribute to the past, as well as to inspire future generations to strive for peace and a life without war. And the process has really touched our spirits and our hearts, and we are truly grateful to my father for his leadership and to the Museum of Civilization for this immense national challenge that we will forever be proud of to be Canadians.
Well, the tribute means big wow, double wow for me. And even at 92, I'm really, excited about the occasion. Now, architecture, that's a container for, lots of artifacts to put in. So I requested a chance to travel across Canada with Joe Gertz, the client's rep at the time. And that was really fortunate. It was the best thing that happened. So I wanted, architecture itself to be part of the exhibit. And then what I drew on the site was an image of the sound. I didn't draw a physical thing, but a sound I remember from 60 years past when I was 13 years old in an internment camp. In my first foray into architecture, and that was tree house, which I found really beautiful when it was finished. But what that sound was the sound of a breeze that was coming through the tree house. And I guess it's natural for somebody in an internment camp, at age 13 to think about war. And at that time, I imagine soldiers from both sides, wet, dirty, hungry, and really wishing that war would go away, that peace prevailed. There were mistakes made, but in general, I'm really happy with it. And I think Canada has a unique war museum. And the Regeneration Hall was something special because as a child of 6, I imagined, what would it be like, as an architect, to be able to, see out of the mountain and see the view around the beautiful high places. So the Regeneration Hall emerged from the idea of Canada as a profile from the Atlantic to the Pacific. And the Regeneration Hall, of course, was the Rockies. And sort of a heart-wrenching sort of thought that occurs to me now about the Regeneration Hall. It's not just about the grass and how life regenerates, but I remember all the people that helped make this come true. So I see the Moriyama name as a tribute to not only the family and not only to me, but to the Moriyama organization that helped create this place. First of all, I want to thank our 2 sons, Ajon and Jason, who really worked hard, and Jason worked, trying to work out where the sun is at 11, 11, 11, and how it moves. I like to give this tribute to my father. Father, whose name was R with mud and feathers, because he was my hero. He objected in a very quiet way of Canada going to war, across the ocean to fight for democracy and individual right. And at home, it was a complete disaster for 22,000 Japanese Canadians. And he was arrested and imprisoned in a prisoner of war camp in his own country. Now, 80 years later, his name is honored. And so I think of that a lot about this tribute. And how history changes, it evolves, and maybe regenerates, and hopefully for the better.